ending with one of the most exciting Mets wins of the year. I'm now joined by Ty and JJ. Guys, what's your reaction? I'll start with you, Ty. What's your reaction to the bottom of the ninth? Diaz loads the bases, and he strikes out the next two batters and covers first to get the third and final out. All
I could think about during that sequence was the Nimmo-robbed home run earlier in the game, because maybe if things play out, it's not as, as tense. But I can't, for the life of me, think about the last team that has stomached as many gut-wrenching losses, an unproven team like the New York Mets. So good for them to get this done. But if they had found a way to lose this game, the best thing you can do is give a lead to your closer. If they forfeit that lead and it's Edwin Diaz, their all-star closer, blowing it, I don't know what happens to this team psychologically. So good for them to get out of it.
Well, gang, Edwin Diaz said after the game he had a choice. He chose wisely. For those of you who've seen the Indiana Jones movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about in The Last Crusade. In all seriousness, though, this is something Edwin Diaz has made a habit of. Yep. He puts a couple of runners on base. He's going to lose the point from time to time. But when he needs to go and buckle down and make some big pitches, he's got some of the nastiest stuff in all Major League Baseball. And I don't know, maybe it was that cleat change he needed, maybe it was that extra spike, whatever it was. But that play there by Acuna, let's not overlook that as well, because that is not an easy play. He sticks with it, and a hell of a job by Diaz to make sure you get over and cover. You got to do that in order to go and win games. But Diaz pulls the Houdini act, and Chelsea, been there, done that.
I mean, Houdini is the best way to put it. I mean, that is the Edwin Diaz experience to a T. But to David Peterson now, he went 5 1/3, giving up 4 earned runs, a walk, and struck out 4. JJ, are you encouraged or are you discouraged by Peterson's outing?
Look, I'm always going to have David Peterson in the circle of trust with the way he can pitch with runners on base, with the way he pitched the last year and for most of this year for the Mets. I don't know how you come away with this start saying I'm encouraged by what Peterson was able to do. The Mets gave him a monstrous lead in this game, and it was a struggle for him to basically get into the 6th inning. He had to put a ton of base runners, ducks on the pond, guys he had to deal with throughout the 5+ innings he was out there. He wasn't incredibly economical, and he wasn't incredibly, dare I say, efficient. So I need more from David Peterson. The good news is, he has enough of a track record over the last 2 years where I wouldn't be freaking out about it. I think he'll be fine, but not vintage Peterson, Ty, by any means.
Here's the answer to that question. The playoffs started tomorrow. My Game 1 starter is not David Peterson. It would be Nolan McLean. The sample size has become too large enough to see this guy struggling. Came into tonight, 3 of his last 4 starts he was bad, and now you're running out of time to see him get right. So I'm not encouraged, obviously. You don't go out there and watch him do what he did tonight and be encouraged. I'm more discouraged, and I'm looking at this guy to step up against a Reds team. I understand that in their last series against the Blue Jays, they put up runs. But you got to go out there and dominate, man. It's crunch time. This rotation desperately needs an ace, and he still wasn't able to go out there and do that tonight.
I mean, that's a valid perspective, but as you said, JJ, you're hoping that him being a vet and his experience comes into play here. But aside from the drama in this game Friday, Kodai Senga consented to being sent down to AAA. Ty, I'll start with you. What could come out of this move? What are you hoping comes out of Senga going down to AAA?
Now, this might sound harsh, but honestly, if you are someone riding on Kodai Senga to come up and be the guy that he was before, prior to the All-Star break, prior to the injury, I think you're foolish and you're unrealistic. Anything more than him just being, an extra ounce of, a bump to this team, you can't expect that, because we've seen him struggle for far too long. So Kodai Senga, he's going to go down there, hopefully get right. I don't think you can expect much from him going forward if you're the New York Mets.
Look, from a mechanical standpoint, you're not going to be able to work on those mechanics pitching out of the bullpen and basically pitching 1 out of every 2 weeks. Grady's going down to Syracuse, but the idea now that I'm going to trust Kodai Senga in a best-of-3 playoff series, that's a guy you're running out there. If he gets sent down to Syracuse in September, I don't think so, Chelsea.